Now, let's talk about mistakes, common mistakes. I want to spend a few minutes on these common mistakes I've seen because these mistakes are painful to watch, and every single one is completely avoidable. Starting in 12th grade, by the time a student is a senior, the profile is essentially set. You're polishing, but you're not building. The families who get the best outcomes often start in 10th grade. I'm seeing some of you type, we're in 12th grade right now in chat, and I want to address that directly. If that's you, stay with me. You're not out of options. The essays, the application strategy, the positioning of what's already on the transcript, all of that still matters enormously, and there is still real meaningful work to do. What changes is the pace. We move faster and we prioritize ruthlessly. We'll talk about that. Choosing activities for the resume. I've watched students quit things they loved and join clubs they hated because they thought it would look good. Admissions officers see through this immediately. Genuine engagement reads differently than strategic positioning the student doesn't actually care about. So another thing about writing essays that summarize the activity list, it's very common. And your Common App already has an activity section, so the essay doesn't need to repeat it in essay form. And then another thing is treating all schools the same. Each supplemental essay is a different conversation with a different audience. Copy-paste supplements are spotted and penalized. So this is a common mistake because it's easy, but you don't want to do that. The biggest mistake of all, the one that underlies all the others, is assuming that a great student automatically becomes a great applicant. One is built in the classroom, the other is built with intention. That's the whole premise of what I do. Now, here's the honest timeline. 9th grade, explore and discover, not the time for laser focus, the time to try things, identify genuine interests, and start asking, what does my student care about? What lights them up? 10th grade is where you focus and deepen. Take what 9th grade revealed and begin narrowing. 2 or 3 core areas, go deep, not wide. Start identifying research opportunities, build mentor relationships. 11th grade, the most critical year, full stop. This is where the capstone launches, where SAT prep is active, where leadership roles are in full force, where the essay narrative starts to form. I see a lot of junior parents in the chat today. If that's you, this is your slide. This is your year. Write that down if you need to. If I could send one message to every family of a 10th grader today, it would be, treat junior year like it is the year, because it is. Then summer before 12th grade, build and write. Finish or finalize the research or capstone, draft the Common App essay, build a school list with real strategic intentionality, because you don't want to not have these things done when 12th grade starts. Now, finally, 12th grade, senior year, apply. The work is already done. The applications reflect a profile that was built over years, not assembled at the last minute. Now, looking at all of this, where does your student fit on this timeline right now? The answer to that question tells you everything about what needs to happen next. Action plan. I always like to end every session with an action plan because I think action is the most important thing. Without action, nothing matters. So here's what I want you to do this week. Not someday, but this week. Step 1, audit the profile honestly. All 4 pillars. Where's the strength? Where are the gaps? Clarity is everything. Step 2, define the narrative. Have a real conversation with your student about who they are, not what they've done, but who they are. What do they care about beyond school? What would they do with unlimited time? The answers are the beginning of the narrative. A simple exercise for this is to define a one-sentence identity. If an admissions officer had to describe your student in one sentence, what would that be? Now, step 3 is build a differentiator. And you do that by identifying your spike project. Identify one research or project opportunity aligned with the narrative that your student could begin in the next 60 days. Not someday, 60 days. Now, step 4, secure expert mentorship. If you already have a capstone project, is there a measurable real-world impact? One way to get that is through external validation. And one way to get external validation is through finding experts who can guide your work and provide that external validation. A lot of students do that by cold emailing professors that they found whose research interests aligned with their passions. Now, the families who do these 4 things, even imperfectly, are miles ahead of the families who don't. Now, next, we're going to get into Q&A. First, I'm going to start with a few questions that some parents asked last time that we didn't get to, but I thought they were really great questions that I want everyone to hear the answers of. If you have questions of your own too, feel free to drop them in the chat. Like I said earlier, I will personally email you to follow up.